Did they really capture that buzz? Anyway. One more time, take two. Alright, let's see. Hello viewers, this is JJJreact. Welcome to another entry of What Was, where I explain the history of stuff that I remember. Or stuff that seems interesting, you know? Happy New Year, viewers. Yes, I've been very lazy on posting. For weeks and weeks and weeks. But anyway, I just felt like it and now I'm recording this. I've been a fan of lost media since I was young. Also the types of videos where people explore abandoned places or explain canceled events and stuff. So this time I decided to make my own. It's on my bucket list, you know. This video is about a mall where I used to go to since the original that closed down and changed 2 separate times. This is What Was Festival Bay. The mall is located in Orlando, Florida, next to the Bass Pro Shop. They originally planned to open it in 2000, but ended up opening 2 years later. In the original plans for the mall, they wanted to make it 1,100,000 square feet, but they decided on 865,000. They planned to make a Ron Jon surf shop themed wave pool, but the prototype they tested failed, and the Ron Jon company backed out, causing the whole project to collapse. Ending in just only the store opening and an angry newsletter and an angry news article by one of his testers, Jimmy Wilson of Stab magazine. The mall had a hot topic for some reason, which didn't exactly fit with the mall's festival theming, but you know, whatever. They also had a Monkey Joe's, which is basically like a half bouncy castle, half arcade type place, and a Universal Studios tourist store because, you know, it's Florida. One of the main attractions of the mall was a Vans-themed skate park. That's pretty cool. One of the only vivid memories I had of this place was looking at the arcade and seeing a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet, which kind of foreshadows me playing and becoming a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. The mall was mostly empty with posters with future planned projects plastered all over, and more stores and restaurants leaving throughout the mall's lifespan. The mall got renovated in 2011, and then a whole year later, the Vans skate park closed its doors. The whole mall closed for a reimagining, and the Cinemark and the Putting Edge mini golf course, and the Fuddruckers and Boot Barn, and the Ron Jon stayed open. Can I please take a minute to appreciate this Bass Pro Shop entrance to the mall? It looks awesome, and I remember going to the mall using this entrance after looking at the fish. Later, the Monkey Joe's location moved to Point Plaza, which I will explain the history of that plaza in the future, because that history is kind of cool. Then, after their apparent redeveloping, 2 years after Festival Bay closed in 2012, it got reimagined into Artegon Marketplace, but I will call it Artegon for short. They made the mall like indie artist themed, and most stores were owned by locals, with some stores selling homemade products, like an antique mall or a flea market. They called it the Anti-Mall and it had a Sky Zone location, a weird bookstore that sold very obscure DVDs, and also where I got this Three Stooges knick-knack. And my favorite overall was a huge comic book store called Gods and Monsters, which in my opinion carried the entire mall. Definitely not because it appealed to me. It's basically the think geek of the whole mall, and it should deserve its own video. It was fun walking around in there with my family, and I was sad to find out that it closed on January 26th of 2017 for apparent redevelopment, but it closed forever. Probably because of that man dying in the rope course the month it opened, may he rest in peace, and 8 separate companies suing the mall around its closure at that time. I feel bad for all the businesses because the management did not tell the vendors about them closing in advance until the announcement from a separate source, so they had to pack up pretty early.
Anna Young, co-owner of Artican's Gods and Monsters collectible store, told this reporter that she only had some intuitive red flags, but no heads up from management prior to today's announcement. Thankfully, Young reports that she and her partner are already being slammed with calls and emails from people wanting us to get an LOI, letter of intent to lease, in their plazas immediately. We don't expect we'll be down for too long by the looks of it. It's just going to be tough for a few months while we transition with a new build out and move.
Boot Barn and Fuddruckers closed its Articon locations and relocated somewhere else, making only Ron John, Cinemark, and Pudding Edge the only properties to still open throughout the mall's entire lifespan, and the locations are still open to this day. Except Ron John. Don't you worry, viewers, my favorite store, Gods and Monsters, also relocated to a temporary space that I still haven't got the chance of visiting yet, but I really want to, because I might make a What Was Gods and Monsters. Fireflex and I will post that. So, what's next for this dead Articon? Let's take a little field trip, shall we? Viewers, this is Desertland. In 2018, the Desert Development of Miami bought the land for $23.7 million. And instead of another mall, they decided to make it into a theme park, like the one in Miami that they previously opened. They opened in 2020, but the world events delayed it to 2021. The Sky Zone got replaced with a Desertland version, which is basically the same thing, but Desertland themed. Also, another reason the two malls closed was probably because of the outlets across the street since the beginning. And apparently they let some stores stay open while the doors were locked, which was pretty unprofessional. Anyway, here's some GoPro improv. They replaced the Ron John with a gift shop. And my favorite store, Rocket Fizz, they mostly sell exotic candies and sodas and other cool knickknacks. Basically, this is the entrance to the mall. First it was Festival Bay, then Articon.
You can know because look at the floor. It's unmatched. You can see how they look how this color and this color.
I don't think that's actually related, but
big difference.
you see they're hiding it with like camouflage or whatever. There's a gate behind it. Yeah, close it. I clearly hear the music from the mall on the other side. So basically, they had that when Festival Bay was still around, but when Articon like opened, they had their entrance moved next to right here, where you can see.
Wow!
You can see the mall kinda. You see, you like see the not the mall, but you know the new thing.
Desertland.
Exactly. As you can see, it says mall entrance. Easy.
Mom's house.
Thank you guys for watching. If
Don't
I
forget
miss,
to subscribe.
shut up, please. If I get any information wrong, then please tell me in the comments and call me a fool. Anyway, thank you for watching,
Call
and
him a fool, you will get poopy dog.
yeah. Next What Was video, probably Gods and Monsters, because I already made a video on that. And then probably after that, point with an E at the end for some reason. For some reason. I have two jokes for this. Desertland.
These nuts.
I mean Desertland, more like Desertland, more like these nuts, more like Weezerland.
More like these nuts land.
Imagine they call this Weezerland.
Bruh. And they just play.
Yeah, they just play Buddy Holly throughout the whole thing. Anyway, see ya. Oh, that's the same.
Mark my words, there will not be a legitimate waffle made for a long time. You can cry yourself to sleep at night wherever the Jesus you're paid. But if you think you're gonna get any chlorine pits anytime soon with the luxury of a few man-made pumps of water, I'll just go ahead and shatter your dreams right now like that mom did to the precious leg lamp in A Christmas Story. YouTube, A Christmas Story Broken Lamp. This is amazing.
Yeah,
That's
really
right,
funny.
folks. Our once realistic hope that we wouldn't have to pay attention to any more bullshit surfline.com broadcasts or worry about how to fit a surf session into our busy schedules or trying to make more cash flow and trying to get more to mention that part.
Yeah,
That
that's literally a
that hope
surfer.
that
A
we just
surfer guy wrote that.
or I used to surf.
Really?
Yeah, I stopped because I got a fear of the ocean.
Uh,